Hey guys, what's up? My name's Frank Garcia, and today we're going to be talking about Xbox at E3 and how I think this year could be a make or break moment for them. Ever since 2013, when Microsoft first unveiled the Xbox One, there's been a sour taste in gamers' mouths, as the Xbox brand has kind of fallen apart and fallen behind Sony and Nintendo alike. But now, with Phil Spencer at the helm of the Xbox brand, I think this year and next year at E3, we're finally going to see the vision of the new Xbox and all the great things it can bring to us. So without further ado guys, this is what I expect to see at Xbox's E3 conference this year and how I think it'll affect the brand going forward. First up, we have a pretty obvious choice, Halo. So last year at Xbox's conference, they showed off a little trailer for Halo Infinite, kind of just revealing that it's open world and it'll focus on Master Chief. And we haven't really heard much since, but I'm sure at this year's E3, we'll either get a new trailer or possibly gameplay, as there is a rumored release for this game of the campaign in 2019, followed by the multiplayer in 2020. On top of that, I'm sure we'll also see the Master Chief collection, and basically some information on how it's coming to PC and when that will be. Maybe it'll release right at the conference itself. Another thing I'm excited about though is actually just all the hardware that Xbox is going to be showing off this year. So all the rumors so far have been indicating that there will be two variants of this new next-gen Xbox that is apparently going to be shown. One being called Anaconda, which is more of a traditional console with all of the powerful hardware being in the console itself, so you can play games, at 4K, hopefully 60 FPS, I'm hoping for more. And another one called Lockhart, which actually will have not quite as strong internals, but will rely more on the cloud systems like Project xCloud to stream the games in over the internet. On top of that, Microsoft actually just recently released some more information on Project xCloud, including that all of the servers will be spread across 13 different regions at the release, and there will be over 3,500 games you can play. So this is actually pretty big news because Google Stadia, which also was recently announced, won't have many games for a while, and developers specifically have to code to the spec of Stadia. But it sounds like for xCloud, most games can just be made for the Xbox and will just work right away on your phone, on your tablet, on your laptop, on your TV, just anywhere across your house, which sounds super awesome. I'm really hoping to see how Xbox's streaming service can kind of tackle this industry and make, big strides. Next up, I think another pretty obvious choice of what we're going to be seeing at the conference is just some Sea of Thieves updates, along with some indie titles maybe strung in here and there as well. Xbox showed some pretty cool indies off last year that kind of got the crowd pretty excited, but besides that, there hasn't been much talk about the indie studios at Xbox, and it seems like this part of the show will more so just be filler, so yeah, I'm not going to speculate too much on this, so I think we just watch and see what they have. But yeah, let's move on to the next one. So now we're kind of getting into some more interesting things that I'm hoping Xbox could show this year. And first up for that is just some new studio acquisitions. There's been a lot of rumors that Xbox is going to keep acquiring more and more studios. And this year, a lot of people are speculating on something as big as Crytek to something as obvious as, let's say, Relic Entertainment. I also have my own hopes and dreams for studios that could get acquired, like Playdead Games. But I guess we'll have to wait for the show and see. It seems to me like the most obvious choice here is Relic Entertainment, just because they're working on Age of Empires together. We'll get to that soon. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what Xbox does. So, as I just mentioned, another thing I'm really excited to see is Age of Empires 4. Microsoft teased the game last year a little bit, and we'll likely see a 2020 release date maybe this year at E3. And we haven't heard much, but we do know that it will likely span multiple eras, and it does have the same composer as The Witcher 3. So it looks like Age of Empires 4 is lining up to be pretty interesting. On top of this, hopefully some new PC announcements may come along with this Age of Empires, maybe release date here at the conference this year, and I'm hoping for that as well since I'm primarily a PC gamer. Another pretty much given for the conference is going to be Gears 5, along with probably some footage of Gears Pop and Gears Tactics as well. Last year's Gears 5 trailer actually looked really awesome, and I've never really been a big fan of the series, but that trailer kind of excited me a lot and really wanted to make me go try out the game. So I'm hoping that maybe this year they can show off some more gameplay, talk about the game a little more, and maybe
hype people like me up who weren't ever really interested in the series, but now are definitely looking at it with keen eyes. Next on the list is something I know a bunch of people are hoping for, and that's a new Splinter Cell game. So recently, there was a few tweets online by Julian Gertie regarding Ubisoft working on a new Splinter Cell game, but afterwards, Ubisoft came out and said it was all a joke, which obviously the fans have not been very happy with. But regardless, there have been rumors for a while now that Sam Fisher will be coming back and starring in some new Splinter Cell games, which I'm sure excites a lot of people. But it's kind of wishy-washy to say whether or not this is actually happening or it's all just rumors. So I guess this E3 is better than any to find out what the real situation is. So next on the list, we have a new Rare IP. We know that Rare is currently working on 2 next-gen titles, but we don't know what they are exactly. There's a lot of rumors going around, but we do know they're probably not their old IPs, as they have stated they don't really want to work on those anymore. So it should be pretty exciting to see what they actually have in store, and I'm sure there are a lot of old Rare fans that really want to see them kind of come back into their prime and release some great games again. Speaking of old Rare IPs though, another game that I really hope we see at the conference is actually Perfect Dark. There's been rumors for a while now, even at last year's E3, that a new Perfect Dark game was going to be shown off, but we haven't seen anything yet. Right now, the game is rumored to be made by a different studio under Rare's wing, and it's supposed to be a third-person action-adventure RPG. But we'll see. Hopefully there's some, good gameplay. And while I never played the first Perfect Dark, it looked really cool, and the idea of having this, futuristic warrior, first-person, third-person shooter just sounds fun. It sounds right up my alley. Another hyped kind of older franchise that people are hoping can come back this year at E3 for Microsoft is actually a new Mech Warrior game. So I never played these games when I was younger, so I can't really speak about their quality at all, but it is rumored that a new Mech Warrior game is being created by Piranha Games, and hopefully this year at E3 we can kind of just get a look at that, and maybe it'll turn me into a fan. Another new game I'm really looking forward to seeing this year at Microsoft's conference is actually a new Ninja Theory title. So Ninja Theory recently released Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice, which was a very highly regarded game and really just showed that the studio was very high quality and has some really great developers behind it. Their new game, though, is rumored to be a co-op sci-fi game that's story-focused and can have up to 4 players working together to figure out the story. It'll also focus on melee combat, just like Hellblade as well. Either way though, I'm just super excited to see what Ninja Theory can really do with their next game, and probably a bigger budget supported by Microsoft behind them. So it'll be interesting to see if there's a reveal this year. So this next game is actually something that I used to play a lot with my friends when I was younger, and that's a Destroy All Humans game. So recently THQ Nordic came out and said that they will be showing 2 new games at E3, one of them being the long-awaited return of a galactically beloved game or franchise. So I think they're obviously pointing out here in a new Destroy All Humans game, and there's been some other leaks and rumors that this is coming. And I'm pretty interested to see what this is going to turn out like, because I remember when I was a kid I had a lot of fun with this game, but I was never a huge fan, so I'm going to see if they can maybe turn me this year. Next up, we have a super obvious choice for Xbox this year, and that's Ori and the Will of the Wisps. Last year, there was another trailer followed by the trailer in 2017, and I think this year we're probably going to get a release date at the conference and maybe even a release right there. I think that could really work in Microsoft's favor, and I know everyone's anticipating this game a lot, so that would be really cool. So for this next game, I know there's a ton of people that are really hoping this happens, and that's a Dino Crisis reboot. So there hasn't been much news or rumors about this, but there have been recent leaks that there is a new Dino Crisis reboot coming, and it will be shown on Microsoft's E3 floor. So hopefully this can turn out to be true, because I remember these games were really fun when I was playing with my friends when I was younger as well, so I'm looking forward to this one. So now I'm going to bring it back to what I feel like is another obvious choice for Microsoft's conference this year, and that's Cyberpunk 2077. We saw the reveal last year on Microsoft's stage, and I think this year we might see maybe a little more gameplay or just another trailer in general that'll kind of just get the public more excited for what I expect to be a 2020 release. Speaking of games based on future tech though, I think another game we could probably see at Microsoft's conference is Watch Dogs 3. Not much is known about this game other than it's probably coming soon, and that it has a female protagonist set in London, apparently. But it'll be interesting to see what this is like. The other two games didn't interest me that much, but maybe this one can finally reel me in. So something I think will definitely happen at the conference this year is a new Call of Duty Modern Warfare game. Apparently the studio's been in a little bit of turmoil, and it'll be kind of crazy to see what this new game is turning out to be. Apparently it takes us back to the Modern Warfare era, but in sort of a reboot is what the leaks are saying. So this next game is one I'm personally super excited for, and that's Dying Light 2. Last year we saw a big gameplay reveal for this game, but we haven't heard much since. I'm hoping this year we get a gameplay demo with some crazy nighttime gameplay and zombie combat, and I'm really looking forward to it. And now for these last few games on my list, I'm going into things that are a little more speculative. So let's just start off with From Software and their new game with George R.R. Martin. Apparently this game is rumored to be called Great Rune and will take place based on Norse mythology, all with the great combat we've come to know and love from Software. Sounds really cool to me, and I'm hoping we can get a gameplay trailer this year at E3. Next up, we have the new Avengers Game. This game was teased a few years ago, but we haven't really heard much since. It's rumored that the game was delayed because the scope of the project kind of increased. And in terms of what the game actually is, it's rumored to be a heavy story narrative focus with online elements, kind of like what I guess will be Anthem or a Destiny type game. So it'll be interesting to see what this looks like coming from, the great Marvel Studios we know. Another project that's kind of shrouded in mystery, but that I'm really excited and hopeful to see at Xbox this year, is a new Rocksteady game. There's been tons of rumors around what this could be, whether it be a Superman game, a Suicide Squad game, or an Outlaws game, which is apparently a comic it could be based off of. But anyways, there's just a ton of different things that it seems like Rocksteady could be doing, but it does seem like it'll stay within the superhero genre. And they're known for their great combat in the Arkham games, so I'm excited to see what they can bring to the table, hopefully this year. Next up, we have a game I'm sure everyone really wants to see some actual gameplay of, and that's Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. The reveal trailer for this game came out not too long ago, but we haven't seen any actual gameplay or really gone in depth on any of the systems in the game. I'm hoping this year at E3 for Microsoft, they can kind of show off a gameplay trailer of this and get everyone even more excited than they already are. So another game I'm dying to see some things out of is Dragon Age 4. So Anthem for BioWare obviously had a pretty rocky release, and it looks like that game's just kind of dead on arrival. But I'm hoping BioWare can finally return to form with Dragon Age 4 and focus on story-driven characters and just a really nice RPG elements as well. Hopefully Dragon Age 4 gets an actual trailer this year and it impresses. And now for the very last spot on my list, which I'm just going to give to really anything from Valve. So the problem is Valve doesn't really show much and they haven't been making a lot of games recently, but I'm really hoping this can finally be the year that they can show something on Microsoft's stage. I know recently they trademarked Dota Underlords, and they talked about how they will be releasing a new auto chess game just because of how popular it was with Dota. But what I'm really hoping for is some crazy announcement like a Half-Life 3, a Portal 3, a Left 4 Dead 3, that a game that could also not only be a normal release, but also something that could work with their index. They already said they have a new AAA game coming out for it, and I'm hoping something like this can happen, as it would obviously steal the show, but I don't think it's a very high likelihood. So yeah, guys, that's my list for what I think we're going to be seeing from Xbox this year at E3. And overall, I think this E3 could be very huge for them. With new technologies like xCloud coming out and new consoles like Anaconda and Lockhart, Xbox is in a spot to really make a stamp on the space, like it hasn't before. And while I know a lot of people have been turned off by Xbox in the past few years, I think this new vision and team under Phil Spencer is finally going to get to show its wings and kind of show the gaming space what they have in store for us, especially with new studio acquisitions and everything alike. It's never been a better time to be a fan of Xbox.